So I want to focus on a little something in the Torah portion of Matot. We read Matot Maseh, but in Matot, we're told at the very beginning that Moses comes and speaks to the heads of the tribes, the Rashi Matot, and he starts talking about the oaths and the vows and all this business. And Nachmanides notices, so first thing is interesting, he notices that Moses speaks directly to the heads of the tribes, and he doesn't, it doesn't come from God. So he says, but you need to be very careful, and notice that if you get to the end of the Torah portion, you see that then we are told, and Moses said everything as God had commanded. So that's just interesting that, it's there, and he wants us to pay attention to that, lest someone thinks this comes from Moses. But the second really interesting thing, and this is beautiful, is that Moses explains the other reason why Moses said this only to the heads of tribes and not to all the Israelites, right? Why not give all the information? And he says the idea is that, when you think of oaths and vows, he says this is one of the more secretive things in the Torah. This is surely not something you need to pass on to the masses. And why? Because there's this fear that if you pass it on to the masses, people are going to start making oaths and vows, because once you educate about something, it's in someone's consciousness and they might use this. And so the idea is, let's only give it to those who are worthy to know about it, so that if someone then gets into a pickle, we know how to solve it, because that's the whole point. The whole point is if someone has made a vow or an oath, you'll know how to annul it, right? Like Kol Nidre, we'll know what to do. And here he also says something interesting. He notices that based on the Talmud, that the Torah tells us about the different kinds of oaths and vows, who can do them, who can't, what happens, but no one tells you how to annul them. No one tells you how to make it okay. And he notices, he says, there's one sentence that says, there's this very, very sort of, this small bit of wording that talks about how you never say that you're going to do this, you say you're always going to respect your vow or your oath. And this is the little needle hole. That once we say I'm going to respect I'm going to keep my word for what I'm saying, this then allows a bet din, judges, to sort of come, and if you regret or decide not to, it'll be okay. Meaning there's a huge difference if your oath is that this will happen no matter what, or your oath you'll respect the actual oath or vow, and once you say this, by going to a bet din and going and doing the whole procedure, you can get out of it. But anyway, I just thought it was very interesting how Nachmanides points out the secrecy of this Torah portion, and how it's not for nothing that the text doesn't tell us just outright what the procedure is to annul a vow or an oath, and why it's only given to Rashi Matot. Thoughts on the Torah portion of Matot? Shabbat Shalom.